Today we're tackling a quick family classic, spaghetti carbonara. I'm Barney Desmazery, a food editor here at Good Food, and I'm going to show you how to take it to the next level. This is a dish that's notoriously tricky, but we're going to show you how to get it right. So for our next level carbonara, the base to it is going to be some pancetta. But I've actually got some guanciale here, which is a lot more authentic. Guanciale it's pancetta made out of the cheek, so it's really fatty, it's got lots of flavour. This one's been rolled in herbs, it came pre-sliced, and I've just chopped it up into smaller pieces. So that's 150 grams. If you can't find this, then just use unsmoked fatty pancetta. And then we're going to need some egg yolks. Now 2 egg yolks go into the sauce, and there's an option for another 2 egg yolks to finish it, but we'll talk about that at the end. A little bit of olive oil, some grated parmesan, I've got 50 grams here, and 1 bashed garlic clove. Totally optional, but it just adds a little bit of flavour. And we've got 200 grams of spaghetti. A carbonara may be quick, it may be simple, but it's quite a hard dish to get right because it involves in cooking eggs really slowly just so you get them creamy without them scrambling, but we're going to show you how to get them perfect. First thing you need to do is you need to heat a wide, sort of shallow pan with a little bit of olive oil. So we're talking about nothing more than a drizzle of olive oil. And then into that pan, we are going to cook down or render. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to release the fat and just make the pancetta go crispy, like guanciale go crispy, and that just goes into the pan. And we should just hear a slight sizzle as that starts. And you want to cook this slowly. This is going to take a good 10 minutes to just cook down gently. Right, this might not be how you make your carbonara, but carbonara was taught to me by an Italian, Mr. Gennaro Contaldo, and if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. You don't have to do this bit, but I like to add a bashed garlic clove at this stage just to infuse with the oil and the pancetta as it cooks down. We're going to take it out later. It's just going to give us a background, lovely bit of garlic flavour. So whole garlic clove goes in, and that's just going to cook down with that pancetta. So once our pancetta is sizzling away, it's all sizzly, we just want the meat and the fat to go lovely and crispy. We're not trying to cook it too much, we just want it to go crispy and light brown. We want the fat to render out of it. Look at that, right then. Once everything has gone lovely and crispy, so all the fat's crisp and the fat's rendered off it, it's time to take the garlic out. So the garlic's done its job. And it's at this stage when I add some black pepper. Pepper is a spice and it comes alive when you heat it up. So black pepper goes in at this stage in all that beautiful fat. So at this stage, I like to heat my bowls up. Now carbonara is a dish that's not very nice when it's cold. So it's just a little touch, and I think it's something that's quite important. You want to serve it in warm bowls. It's gonna make all the difference. Another thing about carbonara, for me, it's a perfect meal for 2. Yes, you can cook it for 4 or you can cook it for more, but you're gonna see when we make the sauce in the pan, it's a lot easier done in smaller quantities. Now you may have heard me say this before, I'm going to say it every time I cook pasta on YouTube, there is no need to put olive oil in your water. If you don't want your pasta to stick, just simply stir it really well for the first 3 minutes, make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan, and once it's nice and loose then it won't stick. So no olive oil in the pan. Where other recipes use whole egg, I like to use just egg yolks. 1 egg yolk per person, 1 egg yolk per 100 grams of pasta. I don't think egg whites bring anything to this. We're after the egg yolks to enrich and thicken the sauce. And where other recipes mix the parmesan with the egg yolks or the egg, I find that tends to seize and they clump up, so I like to add the 2 separately. So I'm just going to test my pasta. That's had about 9 minutes. I think it said 11 on the packet. I've still got a bit of bite to it, otherwise known as al dente. That's perfect, we're good to go. Now at this stage, you can't take your eye off the ball. The next 4 to 5 minutes are vital to get perfect carbonara. So we've got our pan, it's sitting in our water. The water to this is going to be the key to everything. We've got our pancetta or guanciale, which the heat's off, but you're going to need to be the judge of the heat once everything's been put together. So the first thing we need to do is get a pair of tongs, and we're just going to lift our pasta and put it into our pan. taking some of that water with us. And the water is going to be key to everything here. Then you're going to mix the two together. And you'll see that the fat starts to coat the pasta. And at this stage, this is quite important, we're going to start adding water, our hot water. You can use a ladle or a cup, but it's just starchy water that's going to make the base to our sauce. And this is going to take more water than you think, but we're going to keep on adding water until we see it, until the pasta has stopped absorbing it. You can see the liquid start to come out of the pasta. Now we've got our heat off and we're going to add our egg yolks. Now you're in charge of the temperature at this point. If the temperature is too low, the egg yolks aren't going to cook. They're just going to have raw egg yolks through the pasta. If the temperature is too high, the eggs are going to scramble. So at the moment, there's a little bit of residual heat coming off it. I'm going to add the egg yolks and then I'm going to see, and if need be, I'm going to turn the heat up just ever so slightly and cook them out a little bit. So in with our egg yolks, I'm going to give that all a good mix. Start to see that become lovely and creamy. Now from this, I can see that the heat isn't high enough and I want that sauce to thicken a little bit. So I'm just going to turn the stove on to 1 and then we're going to cook that ever so gently, stirring all the time until that egg just starts to thicken. Now another thing that's going to help it along and sort of help it, it's going to make it seize a bit, is adding our cheese. Half our Parmesan, and this is also going to help thicken everything up and make it go lovely and creamy. Look at that. So there's no taking your eye off the ball here. You need to keep your eye completely on it. This could turn in a moment. We've got it on a low heat. We're just going to keep on stirring because we don't want those eggs to scramble, and then eventually those yolks are going to just thicken to the consistency we want. And if I try to rush this, the eggs would scramble. The last thing you want is pasta with scrambled eggs and bacon. You want that just to stay creamy. It's a little bit like making like a hollandaise sauce. You just want the eggs to emulsify, and we're going to end up with this beautiful, smooth, creamy sauce without any cream being added to it. I think we're there. Love, look at that. How creamy that is. Can you see that? That is perfect carbonara, right? Look at that. Not a touch of cream in it, but look at that sauce just coating the pasta beautifully. Just goes into the bowl. Really nice twist. Honestly, that's the perfect texture that you want. So there's our carbonara ready to serve. You just need a little bit extra Parmesan, maybe a sprinkle of salt, but if you want to take it to the next level, and by all means, this is not essential, but it's just a really lovely twist. If you have good quality eggs and you want to do this, you can just simply sit another egg yolk. So we need to separate our eggs. You want to keep the egg yolks whole. Make a little nest in the center of our carbonara. Sprinkling of salt, seasoning of pepper, and then you want to serve that straight away. So there we have our next level carbonara, one with an optional egg yolk which you can cut into and let ooze through the pasta. If you don't want the egg yolk, you can just have it as is. It's still perfectly good, it's still absolutely delicious, to be honest. We're just going to serve it with a bit more Parmesan, and then don't wait around, serve that straight away while it's still hot from the pan in the warm bowls, and that's ready to go. Thanks so much for watching. Get the full recipe in the description. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more episodes, or visit goodfood.com or download our app for more tasty recipes. Drop a comment below and let me know your favourite pasta recipe, or if there's anything else you'd like to see me cook.